That's my favorite part.
The whole thing's my favorite part.
Just serve the cow.
We're rolling.
We're rolling?
We are rolling.
Okay.
We are recording.
Okay. Are you ready?
Tyler and LeBRAIN featuring Sebastian the French. Episode 4.
And why does it take a year or two to make an album?
That might be a question for our record producer over here.
It all depends. I mean,
It's gone from a few months to a couple years.
For mainstream bands to make an album.
And even for some, the ones we still know from way back when,
Yeah.
they take that amount of time, and then they say they got to do the mixing. And
So-
it's just, I'm not sure in the process of, realistically, what do us these people that haven't been to a studio to watch this process, what does it really mean?
good question. So, the recording process changed. It's morphed into this multi-capitalistic money-making machine in the last, I would probably say, 5-10 years. So basically, depending where about the band is in their new album process, if they have even written any songs. For instance, there's like a Metallica documentary they released. They had no song written. They were going in studio to record.
Some kind of monster.
So yeah, the whole recording process started from nothing for these guys.
Right.
But some bands go in with a couple of songs. But what labels are doing now is they want you to record, take a break, then they'll film a couple videos for the thing, or at least the single they'll film a video for it, because they want the video to be out before the album is out.
It's got to be on YouTube.
There's just strategic money-making process that they follow, depending on who the label is. Sony's really big on it. There are actually not many big record labels anymore. There's Sony, there's EMG, and there's another
Universal.
What's better than a video is getting live footage.
That's the way they used to do music videos back in the old days. Again, going back to a review I did, Van Halen 5150. Nice. I was talking to my friend Craig over at 107.5 Dave FM, and we were kind of remembering when Van Halen put out 5150, there wasn't really a music video. It was just a live clip. That was it. And, there was no multi-million-dollar music video directed by Michael Bay, with Katy Perry frolicking with elephants.
But now there's a guitar head called the 5150.
Yes, there is.
Guitar players really enjoy.
That's Eddie's Eddie's number there.
Anyways,
moving on. You know what I do know a lot about though? Leather vests.
Flatulence?
That too.
You mean the one I'm wearing?
Yeah, Tyler's wearing this nice vintage vest.
You are rocking it, sir.
He's wearing a Buddy Guy t-shirt. He's wearing this nice vintage vest. But I know Uncle Meat is always bitching about Monster Truck and their leather vests. As if you can listen to a leather vest on a CD. What the fuck is with that? What is Uncle Meat's vest fetish that he's got a problem about?
And why did we call him Uncle?
Why is he an uncle? I don't understand what the fuck he cares so much about the leather vest for. Who cares?
Sometimes I really don't know where he's coming from.
Did Robert Plant not wear a vest live on stage with the Zeppelin many times?
He wore something different. It wasn't.
It was like a jean vest, wasn't it?
No, it was more like a blouse type thing.
Like a South African inspired.
He pulled it off though. I mean, he was in Led Zeppelin.
It's Robert fucking Plant, man.
Yes. He had talent to go with the look.
The guy could wear Uncle Meat shirt and still fucking nail it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Uncle Meat.
I don't want this to turn completely into an Uncle Meat bitch session, but he did promise us sort of a rebuttal to the episode 2, the Nickelback and Monster Truck episode. He promised us a rebuttal, and I haven't seen it yet.
He's just too fucking busy.
Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna get quotes from Paul McLeod and Jeff Woods and Tom and Scotty Jeffros and all these guys. I haven't seen a single quote. He said, you'll have it by the end of the day. That was on Tuesday. Then you'll have it by Friday. That was yesterday.
Are you quoting the Trues by saying, I am tired of waiting?
I am tired of waiting for Uncle Meat's rebuttal. I don't know what to say. I think
Or you're not ready to go?
maybe he has no rebuttal because Monster Truck and Nickelback do not sound the same. Sebastian, what's your take on that issue? Do you think they sound the same?
I do not think they sound the same. Monster Truck is from Hamilton, Ontario, and they have a great sound, great lyrics, great for rock and roll fucking music.
You know, I should like to point out, and I like your point there as well. I don't mean to cut off like this, but just to show that I'm not biased, there are very few Canadian bands I like. I'm not going to like a band just because they're Canadian.
Yes.
Oh, clearly.
Just
Agreed.
for the record,
Agreed.
I'm not
Yeah.
that patriotic with music.
Otherwise, we would own lots of Sum 41
I'm
records.
Canadians and I
You're
hate
Canadian
the hip.
too? Good God. I knew Avril Lavigne was, but I mean, do we have to take all the crappy alternative bands and call them ours? Like, seriously.
We don't have to, but it seems that a lot of them turn out that they are our
Like
responsibility.
3 Doors Down.
3 Days Grace.
3 Days Grace.
Who fucking sound identical, and they even have the same singer now.
My God. Like, what's so... Like, I just don't understand alternative music and how it sells. It's fucking boring.
It's not even alternative music. It's just different from classic rock in that it's a lot of it's simplified,
Is that the
tuned
genre?
down, and you know.
Is that the genre now? They call it classic rock instead of hard rock? Like
I
real rock
guess
and roll?
I don't honestly. I don't
Is that
know.
the stupid slogan for it now?
I don't fucking know. When I put up a review on my site, I tag it with like a genre, and I'll put like hard rock, heavy metal, classic rock. But you know, what was mainstream 20 years ago is now classic rock.
Yeah, totally.
Like Nirvana, classic rock.
Well, the thing is,
Pearl Jam, classic rock.
I don't know who quoted this, but a guy said, you know, years ago when I was a kid, if you wanted to be in a band, you played covers and then got your own sound. You didn't start using your own sound. You don't know who the hell you are yet.
Very few artists can
yeah.
come out with a first album as a fully formed kind of sound. Very few. A lot of them do start by playing covers. How the fuck someone like...
I can add a nice anecdote to this,
Okay.
if I may, sir.
Oh, yes.
So we're talking about what established sound, and these guys were, as far as I'm concerned, a one-hit wonder, but did have a couple of hits.
Hanson?
The United States, the president of the United States of America, not only played their songs with 2 strings on their instruments, but their sound was well established, and that's all they were. And I'm not sure if they're still together, but
I think they've reunited.
these guys played with 2 or 3 strings.
Yeah, they had like a guitar with 2 strings and a bass with 2 strings
Who
or
was
something.
this?
The President of the United States of
Oh,
America.
okay. I never heard
She's
that.
lump, she's in my head.
She's lump.
Catchy tune.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
in Dumb and Dumber.
Or the
She's lump. She's lump.
Millions of Peaches.
Mary, Mary.
Millions of peaches.
Oh.
Na-na-na-na. Millions of peaches.
I
Peaches
totally
for free.
fucking derailed this thing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't mind.
You may fart now.
I don't have any farts
I'm
built
just
up.
bored with mainstream music on the radio today, and since I don't really have a choice right now,
Hallelujah.
I stick to like maybe 3 stations. And you know what the thing is too? A lot of stations at lunch are sticking to the 90s.
You know,
Or
there's a lot of
Grunge.
90s nostalgia.
But the problem is they're playing a select few bands from the 90s.
Here's my take on the 90s. It was such an insecure era where it transformed from classical rock stuff
Yep.
to the grunge phase to the I don't know what
Alternative.
people want to hear, and then well, it's just everybody experimented in the fucking
There was some-
90s, including Rush.
Genres crossed over a lot in the 90s. A lot of bands started doing rap. Rush did Unroll the Bones.
With Mad Keys, like
Yep.
But I don't know. There was just no direction for me to go with that. And when I was in high school, I just couldn't. I mean, there's a few bands now I kind of liked, but a majority of it, I just couldn't get into it.
I might get in trouble here with some of the younger listeners, but I think the 90s were fucking overrated, man. I really do. I think there were some great bands that came out of the 90s. Pearl Jam have some fantastic
The Seattle
music.
scene in general was great.
It
in the 90s,
was, but then you had the waves and waves and waves of nobody bands that followed the Seattle scene.
I like Pearl Jam. It's all right, but I'm not like I don't really get stuck on these bands.
See,
Like it's better than hearing like what I hear today. If that's on the radio, then I take it. But it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
a lot of the bands that came after Pearl Jam. I'm thinking of Creed.
Oh, jeez.
You got to keep bringing them up.
I do. Creed. Nobody wishes any harm upon anybody or anything
Just
like
don't
that. But
sing
the
anymore.
fucking singer is. I'm sorry. He needs help.
He's a whiner. He's not a singer. He's a whiner.
Well, eyes wide open. Let me take you higher. I'm sorry. I have a hard time taking that seriously. The guy sounds... Tyler, you used this phrase in episode 1. He sounds constipated. Constipated. And I don't want to listen to a singer who sounds like he's straining to push one out on the throne. I'm sorry, that's not the kind of singing I like. Give me some David Lee Roth. Give me the wow. You know, give me
I
something
miss the
fun.
singers that testified.
Sorry?
Testified. They scream, man. Like
Testament.
No, not that testament. When they use it, like they use it as an example in R&B. Ray Charles.
Oh, okay, I know what you're saying.
Like just
Let me ask you this: best singer ever.
My favorite
Overall.
Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
My favorite, I think, will always be Robert Plant.
Robert Plant, and then we got.
I know there's
Mercury.
singers better. That just there's people love James Brown, Roy Orbison, of course. And
I was you stole my answer. I was going to say Roy Orbison myself.
My personal favorite, I just love when just from the get go in his early Zeppelin days was Robert Plant.
Robert Plant.
He had great range.
He does.
But I do respect a lot more than just him. He just stuck out the most at the time when I was young. That's all.
I'll elaborate on the nice segue of my answer as far as being Roy Orbison. People were screaming to Elvis Presley, "You're the king of rock and roll," and he stopped people and said, "I'm not the king. Roy Orbison is the king."
Roy Orbison was a huge
for him
influence.
to say that because his range was just.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
That
Apparently it
stupid
was pretty
range list
rare.
that was floating around online there with Axl Rose topping that fucking list. What a crock of shit that was.
Roy Orbison had an incredible range. His voice was totally clean.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote his own songs. One other guy, not necessarily as a vocalist, but as an artist, extremely important, Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cannot have rock and roll without Buddy Holly. There you go. High five.
Yeah, that's good.
Oui.
Perfect.
Good job.
I'll edit that into something
And that's
pretty
a
good.
wrap.
I think so. I think we got plenty to work with there.
Led Zeppelin rules.